So, I'm sort of debating whether it's a good idea basically showing off this 70-year-old, but Slashie didn't make it. And it did catch my eye, so it's got that going for it too. Expedition: A New World by Slashie. This is basically made for, let's just see here. As you can see here, it's basically like, there's this game right there, Expedition. This is made for the 70-year-old contest of 2009. So, it's one of his older games. And it's been basically updated, recently, so you can see, 2020 up there right here. Alright, so, let's read on. Expedition is a game about the human sense of wonder and discovery. Assemble a group of explorers and journey into the unknown. Roam the world, discover, colonize if you want, and trade. The game doesn't reward you with a new discovery on every step. It instead requires from you methodical mapping and cartographic exercise to find these hidden wonders. During the development of the expedition, our approach to the aspects we enjoyed the most about the age of exploration has changed dramatically. We are keeping this page for historical reasons, but our design efforts have moved to other projects partially inspired by this one. The New World is a scenario inspired by the classic game, The 7 Cities of Gold. You are a Spanish explorer, and you have to stock up an expedition to the New World. Travel there, and then found colonies in the name of the crown. Note: the game comes bundled with 2 different tile sets, plus a characters-based display. I recommend using your tile sets. Alright, so, the thing about this game is I'm really wondering if it's technically a roguelike, because it strikes me as being more similar to similar to Colonization and other expedition style games like that, but whatever. 2D exploration, open world, seafaring, let's go and see how it goes. Here's the downloadable. Oh, there's a manual here. Yes, these old games, they have manuals, So, and you can see here, it's dated way back, of course. So, a manual for Expedition New World. Prelude. And why is this not going down? There we go. Long have I been traveling the seas in the Mediterranean, from Naples to Cyprus, from Sicily to the islands of Minorca and Majorca. I have traveled even as far as Tunisia and the lands of Mamelukes. I have witnessed our world changing with the passing of each equinox from the swaying boards of our ships. All my life I have been learning. Recently I have seen our caravels break beyond the frontiers that had kept us bound for centuries. Our ships have gone beyond the pillars of Hercules and far into the south. We have found the islands which we now call the Canaries, and the vast Atlantic Ocean now lays open before us. This is a time of great changes, but my days of exploration are over. My health is declining. No longer can I even keep myself on my feet aboard my ship. My son, this is why I'm leaving you all that I know, so that you can find your way in this new world. Alright, quick start. I have many things to teach you, my son, but if you ever need to find a quick answer, these tips may help you. The king and queen are your benefactors. They will give you the funds necessary to outfit your expedition. Return to them when you succeed in your voyage. They will continue their patronage as long as you bring them results. My old friend, the friar Dominicus Marcus, will answer your questions if you are in need. He resides in the Alcazar of Seville. You can either depart for the Indies with your basic equipment given to you by the crown, or you can outfit your expedition on your own. Only do the latter when you have gained some experience from a successful voyage. Portuguese get closer every year to finding an African route to the Indies. They have mapped half the coast of the unknown land of jungles and desert, and they have established outposts to strengthen their presence. They have perfected their ships and nautical techniques. It is now only a matter of time before they reach their goal. My son, I have seen you sitting at the docks of the port of Palos, looking west into the vastness of the ocean. When you were a child, You once asked me what was beyond the horizon, where the ships can no longer be seen. Now, history has given you the chance to find out the answer for yourself. After a harsh war with the Moors, the allied crowns of Leon and Castilla have consolidated their power over the Iberian lands. It is speculated that soon they will join forces and form a single, strong kingdom. It is a kingdom that will need a strong trading position if they want to stand against the other kingdoms of Europe. It comes as no surprise, then, that the proposal to search for a western route into the Indies has been accepted by the King and Queen. As insane as it may sound, it is a great opportunity to gain an advantage over the Crown of Portugal. I bless the heavens, then, for giving you this chance to make this dream a reality. I hope that by now you have been granted a well-equipped expedition, and that you are ready to sail to the horizon, to the west and beyond. Alright, well, there's basically a whole lot of reading here, so let's see here. Now, this is basically a manual, but it's also very, as you can see here, it's basically very diarific, so check your food days counter, it will tell you how many days you have left. While sailing, you will occasionally catch fish, however, these fish won't be enough to prevent starvation for long. Avoid storms and prepare your ships when they're under free, of course, their integrity. Try to sail with the wind running behind you or with it hitting your beam, in order to sail full speed. You need a full crew of each ship. Sailors are weak in combat, but you need 25 of them for each ship to achieve decent speed on adverse winds. Unfortunately, sailors can only use basic weapons, lances and maces for instance. Officers, on the other hand, can use stronger weapons and armor, harquebuses and swords, and breastplates instead of leather. And you need one officer per ship to complete the crew. Carpenters specialize in fixing the ship. They make more efficient use of wood during repairs, and have a healthy ship greatly increases your chance of success. They can also make buildings twice as fast as other units. So weather. Alright, so basically there's a bunch of weather like we have here. We have clear, calm weather, cloudy. Your visibility will reduce. Rain may come up next. Rain. Visibility is reduced even more. Chances for accidents on board increase. Windy. Strong wind increases your sailing speed and makes it harder to beat against it. Heavy rain. If on the sea, you may be engulfed by storms which frequently damage your ship. Sails have to be unfurled, and your best bet is to drift with the waves in a wind direction. Gale and hurricanes. Very strong storms will very likely be trapped in stormy seas. Frequent wind changes also make it hard to escape to calm waters. So fog. Visibility greatly reduced. Snow. Only happens on cold climates. Visibility and movement speed, if on the land, are greatly diminished. Dust storm only happens in the sandy desert. Visibility and movement speed are greatly diminished. At first, you should try to what you should try to do when leaving port is to set your bearing and way anchors. When cruising the seas, you should know well how to take advantage of the wind currents. Your ship speed is determined by its point of sail. So, running with the wind, broad reach, beam reach, close reach, beating on irons. So yeah, you don't want to be beating on irons because that's bad. Running with the wind is better. So point of sail, running with the wind. Max speed for square rigged ships. Their wind strength is fully used. Wind reach, broad to close reach. The crew operates to make the best use of wind, mid to low reach. Beating, lowest speed requires all hands on board to work heavy to sail against the wind. On irons, the ship is stalled as sails provide no propulsion. So yeah. So there are special maneuvers when a ship's in a storm. Sails are unfurled to prevent damage, and ships sail only with the waves. The best option there is to surf the waves by heading the ship toward the wind. So when I'm in a storm, go toward the wind. You can drop anchors any time while at sea, as long as you are close to land or shells. This will make your ship stand by, allowing you to turn around as needed. Make sure your anchors are free should you be trapped in a storm, else you risk your ships being heavily damaged. When sailing the ships, you carry capacities determined by the capacity of ships. All vehicles, horses, and units are dead weight. Alright, explore new lands. Should your sea voyage be successful and you encounter land, you can create an expedition. So, I'll note this is basically where we get into the sort of aspects that sort of make it into a Sim Meier style game, because you're essentially exploring the territory of the land you basically discover or whatever. But remember, be always prepared to unexpected situations. Take enough supplies with you, and if you're not certain of dangers that wait, bring enough protection as well. If you expect to carry a great quantity of goods, you should also consider acquiring some horses in order to increase your cargo capacity. A horse can carry more than 4 times that of an average human can. You can also ride horses if you want to traverse the land faster. In this case, you'll need to at least as many horses as units there are in your expedition. When exploring land, your carrying capacity is determined by the capacity of units and amount of horses. When a horse is mounted, the expedition loses carrying capacity in exchange for mobility and attack power. So when you mount a horse, they basically don't carry for you. They just like have attack and mobility. So alright. This is a very in-depth manuals you can basically see, but whatever. Keeping around with your people. So don't run out of supplies. Lose too many skirmishes. Be on the sea without touching land for too long. Struggling against the forces of the sea or being becalmed for too long. Having your ships in bad condition. On the other hand, there are some events which can help you upkeep your expedition spirit. So, having a positive balance of combat, having leaders in your expedition, officers and soldiers for instance, keeping your ships in excellent health, acquiring riches, including valuables and trading goods, having incentives such as rum for the sailing crew. The morale of an expedition affects their performance in combat and their walking speed. It also affects how fast you can sail, since your sailors will be much more active and disciplined. The following are positive morale statuses. Try to keep your people in them to obtain performance bonuses. So, victorious, joyous, happy, content, steadfast, calm. So yeah, they all look happy. If enough values strike your people, they may go down negative morale statuses. Many things can happen as your men get desperate. So, restless, downcast, hopeless, cracking apart, depressed. Alright, members. So, rogues are ruthless survivalists who will gladly take part in your adventure. They're stronger than sailors and can use swords. Marines and soldiers are strong, specialized warriors who will train and fight under harsh conditions. They're the strongest men you can have aboard. Marines can handle and even prefer ranged weapons like crossbows and harquebuses. But they can't wear breastplates. So I'm not basically just like something I sort of wondering about. I do know they had crossbows back in like 1492, but I wonder if they took them to like the New World. That really strikes me as being like something that why would you bring a crossbow over here? Because like complicated machinery that could break, right? So arquebus is just a steel pipe that has by power in it, but not sure about the crossbows. But anyhow, they can also use swords and basic weapons. Soldiers on the other hand prefer to use swords, and they can wear breastplates, making them more valuable in battlefield. They can also use harquebuses. So I guess the Marines are like best on your ships, and like the soldiers are best on the ground. Archers are the light warriors trained in the use of bows, which make them valuable in wilderness. They can wear basic armor and can use crossbows too. Explorers are weak, but indispensable in your journey. They can extend the field of view of your expedition, and that may save your life. They can only wear basic weapons. Doctors can only wear basic gear, but they help your units to heal quickly. A wounded unit can perform suction and is subject to die in battle, so they can be a great help in your expedition. Finally, you can also bring colonists with you. They are people willing to strengthen the presence of crown in the foreign lands. Part of your mission will be to propagate our holy faith and the flag of the King of Queen in the lands you find. You can only build colonies in the lands far beyond the claim of the European African nations. So, yeah, you can only build in the other continents. Establishing a colony consists of executing a construction plan for a plaza and 4 houses, to be inhabited by up to 40 people. For such foundations, you will need at least 200 pieces of wood. Remember, you can chop wood in forests as long as you do not belong to someone else already. If you have already acquired resources, you will need to give it a name to your new settlement. After you establish it, you continue expanding it by executing for construction plans. Construction buildings cost wood and work power. The time required to execute a construction plan depends on the expedition building capacity, and workhoppers work twice as fast as the rest of the units. Take note that even if you have a great workforce, the minimum work days required for executing a construction plan is limited by the minimum work days of the building. For example, if you're building 2 houses in a farm, you can't do it in less than 14 days, no matter how your expedition building capacity. So, just like you can't build a farm faster than you can build a farm, basically, is the idea. Alright, so Summit Plaza can hold 50 units of forced food. House, storage tower, farm. So what's the difference between a storage tower and a summon plaza, by the way? Meh, whatever. You can transfer people and equipment to and from the colony at any time. Blah blah. I'm gonna have to basically make this like a, its own like video. Basically, it's gonna be so long doing this, but whatever. You can also choose to have some expedition, in which case you will stay in town for a week without consuming food from your supplies. This can only be done if the town has enough capacity to host all the members of your expedition. Alright, interact with foreign settlements. Should you find civilized settlements in your journey, they will interact with them in the following ways. Raid a settlement, attack the settlement, be aware that most of the times there will be hundreds of people in the settlement. However, if you win a combat, the morale will be reduced and they will be subject to your threats. So, trade goods. You can only do this if the settlement is friendly. Pick the kind of goods you're interested in and then make an offer. The people of the settlement will evaluate it and propose you a trade. Each culture has different appreciation for different goods, so you may need to conduct some trading before you find a preference. You can also ask the kind of goods they're interested in. Threaten. If people in the settlement have been intimidated by you, they will offer your goods in exchange for your money, for mercy. If the settlement is hostile, they will continually send combat expedition after you. So, yeah, it makes sense. The combat. Combat takes place when you raid a native settlement or fight a war expedition sent against yours. Try to have at least some trained soldiers in the expedition, and be sure to buy them weapons and armor. And remember to arm your expedition and ride your mounts when it's time to combat. Combat is divided in assaults. The 60 best equipped men from each expedition will be chosen to assault, with a max of 20 range and 20 mounted men. An assault is divided into 3 phases: ranged, mounted, and melee, and you may suffer retaliation from the defending party during any phase. Each phase may result in wounded or dead units. Wounded units cannot participate in assault and are moved to the back row. Units of ranged equipment and mounted units can participate more than once in a battle during the ranged and mounted phase, respectively. So basically, you've got a mounted ranged unit. They'll do probably all 3 battles. Maybe. If the expedition rolls are diminished, the wounded units will take part in your combat and may die in battle. Be sure to have doctors to increase the speed at which they use rehabilitate. Return to Europe. The prevailing southwest winds may be a problem on your return to Europe. Try sailing north until you find more suitable winds. Prepare yourself for a dangerous voyage fraught by freezing winds and thunderous storms. If you manage to return to Europe, you should report back to King and Queen. They reward you if you manage to establish a colony in foreign lands with ranks and large sums of money to support your continuing expansion. Alright, so. Play a reference card, land movement. Click on the screen around your main character in order to move in that direction. The cursor will change its shape accordingly. Use the keyboard to move in 8 directions. Same as land, have it in mind that your ship needs to turn around in order to change directions. So, makes sense. Actions. Use these, actions are actions. So basically, just click the stuff to do it. Alright, well, let's give this a go then, shall we? That only took me like 20 minutes to read that entire thing, but that's fine. There is a bit of a start basically to this game, so that's fine. I'll just probably make this into a two-parter. Alright, so thank you for trying out this version of Expedition: The New World. The game is in active development. If you like the game, please visit expeditionworld.net to learn about the ways to help us complete it. Alright, so this my headset cut out there for a moment, but anyways. There's basically a bunch of options for different tasks, basically. So you have big density, orcs, swing box, curses. Let's put this on orcs. We'll put it on full screen and let's just launch. I don't think I full screen properly. Okay, let's try it again, maybe. It could be that, you can't full screen it, or, maybe it's just the tile set I used. Well, I guess we'll be full screening it, I guess, so that's fine. Let's just check out all the palace houses, by the way. So, there's Denzi. There's swing box over here. Doesn't even have anything there. I guess curses is probably like ASCII, so. Does it work? And curses doesn't work. Alright, so. I'm gonna go with orcs because it's a little bit more easier to make out the tile sets on this one, I think. It's a little bit loud, but just bear with it for a moment. So. Alright, so, you stand again in front of the King of Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, the royal monarchs of the recently born Kingdom of Spain. Your last audience in this throne room ended in yet another disappointment, but when you were leaving, Cordova, a group of royal guards, requested you to visit again, the Alcazar. You approach the throne and wait for the monarch's words. Ferdinand II, King of Aragon, says, "Welcome back, Christopher Columbus of Genoa. We, the Catholic King and Queen of Spain, have generously decided to grant you this audience. In spite of our advisor's words, we have approved your expedition to find the west path into the Indies. Should your journey be successful, you will be given the rank of Admiral of the Seas, as well as Viceroy and Governor of any newfound lands. We have commissioned 2 caravels and a carrack for your voyage. What our aid should your crown grant you?" Alright, so, you can basically provide me of a sailing crew, provide me with exploratory expedition, or please let me outfit an expedition myself. So, let's go with A here. We will outfit your ships with sailors, officers, and carpenters. We will also grant you 23,500 royal marvis and supplies for 5 months' voyage. We have instructed Friar Domenico to answer your questions about the journey. You will find him next to the Alcazar entrance. May God be with you in your journey. We await your safe return. You are dismissed. Okay, so. Okay, awesome. So there is like a volume counter for the music, so hooray for that. And yeah, there's like a save and quit option I think here. So I'm not really sure how roguelike this basically is, but it did start out as a 70 URL. What's over here? The Colonel says, "I will not speak of my sin." The Moors are gone. Long live the King and Queen. Our fleet is strong. Don Santiago says, "All things have a true nature." The Brilliant Guard says, "I guard the castle and all within." Juan Cristoforo Ebota says, "The song goes, Oye Uhim." Alright, so here's the friar, by the way. So, hello friend Cristobal. How may I assist you? What should I do next? Do you have any advice for your voyage? What about the crew? And what if I meet resistance? So let's go with what should I do next. The crown is looking forward to gain a competitive edge against the Portuguese navigators, whom have discovered the African path to the Indies. You should now sail westward. If your calculations are right, you will find the Indies about 1,200 nautical miles in the Atlantic Ocean. You may want to take some trading merchandise with you, But remember, this is just an exploratory voyage. It is of more importance to lay the foundation for a trading outpost. Remember, you need at least 200 wood to found an outstanding settlement. You can obtain wood by chopping or buying from the supply stores. Once you build a settlement, you can leave people inhabiting it, and they will look out for their own survival. So you can use the settlement as exploration bases. A settlement may host 40 people when created, but you can continue expanding it with more buildings if you want to push its growth forward. Do you have any advice for voyage? My friend, how can I give advice on sailing to see the great navigator such as you? You've been on board since you were a child. As you say yourself, it's all a matter of pointing your ships to their destination and letting the wind run behind you. But sometimes wind just will not travel with you, and that's where your ship's crews has work to do. A well-trained crew can sail even against the wind, but it will take them much longer, and time is precious on the sea. Your ships will sail faster if you have one full crew with one officer and 25 sailors, if you're in good shape. Our navigators have served strongly southwestern winds on the recently conquered Canary Islands. Southwest of Palace, that may get a good spot for your voyage to start. By your reckoning, the voyage may take about 3 months into the unknown. You should however be equipped for the worst. You don't know what awaits you in the high sea. Remember to check out your food days calculation before departing. The Crown has given you enough supplies for a long voyage with your sailing crew. But if you decide to bring more people, you will have to get your own supplies. You can forage for fruits on the wilderness or fish on shallow waters, but it's better to keep your expedition stocked. Also remember the morale of your expeditions. Bubba's always telling you the stuff the manual Lacey did. What about my crew? Alright, your expedition is made up of men of different skills, so it's important to know what role each one basically does. First off, the sailing crew is conformed of sailors and officers. Sailors in weak in combat, so yeah, basically same thing here. Yeah, this is like, everything we've basically gone through already. Grrr. Alright, so. A chariot takes you back to Alcazar of Cordova. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Alright, so here's the town basically of Palos, 1492. So, you'll note that basically on the right, basically have like a breakdown of all the different characters. So you have like, officer, carpenter, explorer, sailor, caravel, so there's my ships. Over here, going to like hire guys. So if I want to bring some more guys with me, like some archers, for example, I can do so here. I'll note by the way that Slashie basically had a video basically showing off like some of the stuff you basically do here. So there's the archer. Currently don't have any archers, so let's just get like maybe a couple of them. And you can see like we have like officers there. We have like 5 carpenters, 0 doctors, explorer. Those are basically the Marines down there, I guess. There's the sailors. We got 75 apparently, and we got some soldiers. Well, no soldiers actually at the moment, but whatever. Let's get 3 soldiers, I guess. And yeah, note that these guys basically have like unarmed enclosed, so that's basically arm as well. There's the armory, so get me some bows basically and stuff for these guys to wear. So here's some bows for them. And you can wear like armor, so there's a couple of that for them. These guys can use like the swords, the harquebuses, the spears, all the other stuff. There's a steel spear. Really, A2 steel spears apparently. Let's get some of these basically, and some of those. I've seen what these guys can basically equip, by the way. I'm guessing, like, you know, maybe like the horses aren't implemented in yet, but you know, there's something that, like, you know, maybe Slashie plans to put in at some point. Welcome to a trade company. So, sugar, cloth, and cotton. So basically, there's some stuff here possibly you can, like, you know, trade with. So take some cotton with us, maybe. I'm basically like replicating a lot of what Slashie basically did, though it's like a little bit different way basically did as well. Alright, here's where we're gonna buy like supplies for our expedition, so we get like some wood and, like, you know, biscuits. Let's get 150 wood. We're gonna get, like, you know, a little bit more food in this. Not that much. There, we'll get that much. There's the docks where you can basically buy ships if you want. Obviously, they're a little expensive, but you know, they're there. Do you want to leave the ports of Palos de la Frontera? Yes. Do you want to me explain the basics of sailing? Yes. Alright, so your ships are currently anchored in front of the fort. You can rotate them around to set your bearing. Then you must weigh anchors and sail ahead. For sailing ships, speed is greatly influenced by the direction and strength of the wind, the morale of your crew, and the integrity of both their hull and tacking greater than 75%. You must also have enough hands on board, 25 sailors and an officer per ship, in order to sail at decent speeds. If you're sailing against the wind, you will be commonly finding yourself on irons. That means that your crew will be unable to outmaneuver the wind, and so the ship is steered in advance. Likewise, you may find your expedition on a becalmed sea. Unless all your ships are oar powered, you won't be able to move around. Your ships will always be moving forward when unanchored. Beware sailing your ships into land. You can anchor if you are near a beach, in order to avoid crashing. As your expedition is not equipped with a marine chronometer, there's no way to know your exact longitudinal position. That's where the Day of Reckoning counter comes. The Day of Reckoning is your approximate calculation of longitude distance from the reference point based on the distance traveled each day. You can reset the reference point at any time. God bless your voyage. Remember, you can check the game manual for detailed instructions anytime. Alright, so it's clear, very cold, deep water right now. Here's my sailing expedition. I got supplies for 224 days. Currently we're calm. And we're anchored. So we can weigh the anchor. Weigh anchors. The wind blows strongly. Alright, so where's the wind direction coming from? So wind is north. Alright, so I want to basically use like the arrow keys, like this, like, you know, left, right, up, down, I guess. You're on the irons apparently. Wind is facing north. I got beam reach here. Close reach. And I'm beating. Alright, well. I think it's probably a good stopping point for like the first episode. We've already gone for like, 45 minutes, so I basically got for the exploration stuff. Inventory, arm expedition, examine surroundings, repair ships, drop anchor, reset that reckoning, and make landfall. We'll save and quit right here. Save the game, journal, Damon's voyage. Yes. Alright, well, I'll be back with the next part, but for now, hope you guys enjoyed this little bit and take care.